Ferguson Mitchell with ESFI World bringing you a recap of the GSL Season 4 Round of 8. The Round of 8 began with two remaining Protoss players fighting for a spot in the semi-finals. SK Telecom's Rain, a newcomer to the GSL, took Game 1 after defending Hero's Dark Templar attack. The former Brood War player then used his early Robotech to get more Colossi and tear through the more Zealot-based force of the Team Liquid Protoss. Hero fought back with a strong opening, sneaking a pylon in Rain's main and scoring some probe kills. But Rain didn't spend too much on defense and was able to take a huge tech lead. The GSL newcomer then blinked into Hero's main, sniping his robo and widening his tech lead. Hero's Warp Prism harass began to close the gap, but Rain's larger robo-based army was able to seal the deal and bring himself to a 2-0 lead. It was beginning to look like a rainy day for Hero on Daybreak for Game 3, when Rain was able to catch some of Hero's army with force fields. Rain continued to push for the win with his first Colossus, and earned his spot as the Protoss representative in the round of 4. Match 2 of Day 1 was an epic TVZ between IM's All-Star MVP and the up-and-coming Zerg player Symbol. Game 1 on Abyssal City was a brawl, with both players having responses to each other's aggression. Symbol was able to stop MVP from expanding twice, and MVP racked up drone kills with Hellions and Banshees, while slowly gaining air dominance. With his massive Viking, Thor, and tank army, MVP was able to clean up the Zerg army, and despite a huge amount of infestors surviving, was able to push for the win. The TSL Zerg player fought back in Game 2 by defending MVP's bunker rush, then retaliated with a strong double gas Roach Baneling attack that evened up the match 1-1. MVP pulled out ahead again in Game 3 due to Symbol misreading an attack, losing his entire army. Symbol began Game 4 strong with Roach aggression and frequent Zergling run-bys, but MVP defended well and held out until the late game. Once his supply approached max, MVP began to send packs of Marines to snipe hatcheries. This forced Symbol to engage, but in a poor location for flanking, and his ultras didn't show up until it was too late. MVP continued to push his advantage until the Zerg player GG'd. MVP, despite playing in pain, advances to the round of 4. Day 2 began with a clash of titans, Liquid's Terran powerhouse TaeJa and the inventive FXO Zerg Leenock. In Game 1 on Cloud Kingdom, Leenock used constant Ling run-bys to keep TaeJa on the defensive. Once the Zerg player had a greater spire, he was able to show his skill with Broodlords and push TaeJa back, laying siege to his army in expansion. Leenock's great army control helped him to a Game 1 victory despite a heavy anti-air Terran force. Leenock attempted to push his lead in Game 2 with a double Roach Warren opening build, upgrading +2 range attacks as well as tunneling claws and movement speed. Despite the strong attack, TaeJa was prepared with Marauders and tanks and shut down the attack. On Entombed Valley, TaeJa went for a 2-Rax bunker rush that looked like it might be stopped, but the full wall off with bunkers was too strong for Leenock's Banelings. With his back against the wall in Game 4, Leenock went for the macro game, teching to his signature Infestor Broodlord composition. When TaeJa scouts this, he goes into production of Vikings, quickly gaining air dominance. Once the two armies clashed, TaeJa's superior Viking targeting and control led to a win and a spot in the round of 4. In the final game of the night, the StarTale's young star Life duked it out against the seasoned GSL competitor MarineKing Prime. The Prime Terran began aggressive with a double Rax bunker rush, but Life defends with minimal loss. Life then attempts to be the aggressor, killing a lot of SCVs with his Ling Baneling combo, but losing his entire army in the process. MarineKing pushed his lead, attacking the Zerg's 4th with his bio army and stomping the defending force for a GG. In Game 3, Life fought back with an early pool build, blind countering the double proxy racks of NKP. Terran attempted to contain the Zerg, but the early pool allowed for an easy defense. Life pushed back, streaming Lings, Banes, and Infestors into the Terran natural, and even making them dance outside the base of MarineKing. MarineKing defended well with his marine control, but couldn't hold off and surrendered. Life, knowing he was ahead, continued applying pressure, maintaining constant map presence. Both players traded units with MarineKing's Banshee scoring drone kills, while Life's Lings took care of unprotected SCVs. Life's decision to go Spire paid off as his mutas were able to catch the unprotected Thors fresh out of the factory, leaving them vulnerable to the deadly magic box. From there, Life reinforced with Lings into the Terran main, surrounding the mech force of MarineKing and securing his final victory and a place in the round of 4. At the end of the round of 8, 1 Protoss, 1 Zerg, and 2 Terran advance. The ex-Brood War Pro and Protoss Master Rain will face off against the best Terran the GSL has to offer in MVP, who is able to advance this far all while suffering from his neck injury. Then, the Zerg newcomer Life will face off against the Terran terror TaeJa, who is fresh off his DreamHack Valencia win. That'll do it for the round of 8 for Code S. Don't forget to check us out when we cover the semifinals. For more coverage and news around esports, find us on Twitter at ESFI and on the web at esfiworld.com. Until then, this has been Ferguson Mitchell with the ESFI World.